I have 2 days.
Okay, we're live.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, afternoon.
Welcome to the Rotary of June 30th, 2025. We got a good one for you today. Yeah, there's a little pep in my voice, probably, right?
I wonder why.
Here to do our prayer pledge and 4-way test, education extraordinaire, Matt Turner. At least you got an introduction.
All right, please join me in the pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And if you would, please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of this new day and the opportunity to gather in fellowship here as Rotarians. We ask for your presence among us. If you would, guide our hearts and our minds as we seek to serve others and be humble, share wisdom and love. Help us to reflect on the teachings of Christ in all we do and living out the values of integrity, compassion, and service. Bless this meeting, our work, and those who we aim to help. May all we do be for your glory. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And if we would, let's do the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Number 1.
It is the truth.
Number 2.
It is the
Number 3.
Will it build good will and better friendships?
And number 4.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Are there any updates for Team 6, Matt, while you're standing up and go?
I'm trying to recall if this is a team 6 item though. We are working on I got to Sunrise for Hope program.
Okay.
That we're working on now. I'm trying to make a connection with our Cook County Educator Foundation. We're both doing fundraising and trying to help kids and help families. So we're trying to see if there might be a little collaboration between the entities. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an all hands on deck project, really. So,
Thank you.
yeah, excellent.
No,
Thank you.
nothing else to add.
All right, Dennis is standing in for Sean to do the
Please,
start
Richard,
draw.
here. Good to be back. I was in Switzerland for a couple of weeks. Didn't learn how to yodel, but and had some interesting experiences. Beautiful country, wonderful time, enjoying myself. First day we get in there. We're getting our luggage, going to the hotel, and there's a big sign, Rotary meeting, 12 o'clock today. And it's 4 to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, can you believe that? So I walked in, they greeted me, they were so gracious, they had 3 or 4 people could speak English pretty well. Each one, they had about 80, 85 members there. Each table had 2 bottles of wine. On each table. So I a club. Yeah. I asked them, I said, you keep your membership up? They go, oh yeah. But it's great to be back, really is. All right, we've got naturally our guest speaker, Kim and Jerry Harrison are here, and Amy Clark is also here. Amy, you want to tell us anything about what you do, or you're right?
Well, first and foremost, I'm Kim's cousin. Our moms are sisters.
All right, that's great.
Helping Kim and Jerry with their business. Sometimes I come help out.
Well, good. Your right-hand assistant there, right?
Well, I can.
That's good. Well, we're glad to have you. We're anxious to hear your all's program here. Sports wise, being out of town, it just goes to show you I must be a jinx or something. The Reds have won 6 out of 7 series. I'm a 6 hours difference, but I did set my clock at 1 o'clock so I could get up in time for the 7 o'clock game that was starting here. and watched the rookie Chase Burns pitch, and I just had to get my fix. With the baseball. Fire goes, what in the world are you doing? We're supposed to hike to the Matterhorn tomorrow. I go, I gotta catch my Reds, but Reds are looking good. The young players are starting, and you know what? They're getting healthy. They're getting healthy, and they're starting to have some success, and when we have success with anybody, especially young players, they believe in themselves and they play up to their potential. So this second half might be fun. So I think that covers it. It's good to be back.
All right, so dues are due. I think most people here have paid, but if you have not, please do so as soon as possible. Coming up, we got a few volunteer opportunities. So October 3rd, we've got our golf outing, which will benefit scholarships. And then the following day, we actually have an Ohio River Street. So the place on that is to be determined still. The emergency shelter of Northern Kentucky is looking for some items: ground coffee, creamer, sugar, cereal, and disposable bowls. We got a few items over here that have been donated and a few in the closet as well. So we'll get those down to them, but we are looking for more. And then Citizen of the Year nominations are due. So if we have any folks that have caught our eye that we know are outstanding members of the community for what they do, people that are typically not recognized for their contributions, we would like to see some of those people. So Pat.
I was gonna mention for the emergency shelter, we use it. They have an Amazon wish list. It's real easy, just go on there, got an Amazon account, and it ships right directly to them. And we don't have to handle it.
Okay, outstanding. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's see. Jim is not here. Michelle, you got any update on Sunrise of Hope?
So Sunrise and Hope, if you all remember, this is a new initiative that we're starting at, filling the gap of needs for student homelessness. So we're working with the resource officers of schools in Duke County to get direct funding for children or families that's in need. We are meeting with sponsor opportunities, collecting donations. That's going well. We give about $5,000 so far in new donations. So moving forward and looking forward to the October 3rd event.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay. All right, Rotarians out and about, working the gate at the fair here. We had a few folks. Julie, you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, we had I thought it was fun. It was hot, but we got to be in the air conditioned booth. And I want to thank Steve Pavesi's wife, Erica, and his daughter Alexis came up and helped too, and Cynthia and Carolee. So we had a good time. Be the Wednesday of the fair next year again. We're going to need volunteers, and I'll get it on the sign up.
Thank you. All right, Pat, did you want to talk about the project here we're doing to add different?
Well, just a quick thing, just remind people that it's a, a long time ago, I worked in times like communities, and I got to see the residents there, and the facility do a nice job with group outing, but there are some people there that never have a visit. There are people that have family come in, friends come in, neighbors come. And some of these seniors that are there can really benefit from, say, a friendly visitor. So in the email today, there's a link to call Amy here again. It's their development district project with the council on aging, and then email. But just it's a nice thing to do, and I would encourage people to sign up and be a friendly visitor.
Thank you, Pat. All right, so birthdays. Carol Lee, Wednesday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Doug Mashney is on the 6th, and he's not here today. And then anniversaries, Greg Palmer, 22 years.
22 years, Greg.
Hey, you getting ready, Greg?
I am. I'm fired up.
All right.
You guys need to start hiding right now because I'm coming.
He's coming for you.
All right, happy dollars. Anybody got any happy bucks? Mr. Turner?
I've got one, you may recall about this time last year, I had announced that my son had proposed to his girlfriend on the beach in Hilton Head.
Okay.
Well, this past weekend before last, they were married down in the mountains of North Carolina. So they're traveling home from Jamaica here today. So my wife and I will be picking them up. Hopefully it'll be a little better. We're talking about 11 o'clock midnight tonight. They'll be back home.
Oh, boy, yeah. And I've got one. This is my last meeting
Yeah.
as president. That's-
Yes,
that's-
yes, as president, yeah.
Not allowed to leave.
Michelle.
Jim Ferguson is not here today, but I want to give him a shout out. He had recently helped my family, my husband listed, his mother's home for sale in Edgewood. And so he listed that and it's sold in less than a week. So we have a contract on that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I have a new staff person that started today. So I've been looking for a while. She is bilingual Spanish, English, has experience, computer savvy, and we're looking to start good, so.
That's awesome.
Don't scare her.
Trying not to.
And then
She's here.
Yeah.
I put in $1 for Carolee and Cynthia and for helping at the fair.
Thank you.
I'll brag on my grandson for $1 today.
Sure.
He goes to Seattle, Washington this week to compete in the international cubing competition.
Wow.
He's currently ranked 5th in North America in solving the
Nice.
Rubik's Cube. And he's ranked 11th in the world, so he's hoping to move up.
Nice.
I'll keep it to him.
I'm still working on one.
Yeah.
Me too, Marcus.
My shoes in 10 seconds.
I think his best solve is 4.7 seconds.
Holy seconds, not minutes, but seconds.
Yeah.
We just have to take them apart and put them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But you can tell. it's different.
All right, so I guess tonight, the new year takes over in DAC-DB. I'm not sure what all that changes exactly, but
Just if you can get in today and update any information as far as birthdays and, the days, I don't know if they can change joining the club, but addresses, emails, just do a last minute check before it rolls over.
okay, good deal. That's a good practice anyway. All right, now for the main event. Michelle.
Here to introduce our guest. Before I do the introduction, I did want to share a story. I had, my husband recently had the privilege to work with Tim Harrison recently again. I had told you that my husband was selling his childhood home, and so it's been pretty emotional. You go through inventory, of the house and things that mean a lot to you. And so it was nice Kim helped us came and knew some of that stuff out. And then she followed up with an email to let us know that those items that we love so much went to someone else that appreciated those. So that was very, very nice. So we are here today. I'm here today to introduce Kim and Jerry Harrison. They are with Rooms of Love. And Rooms of Love is a heartfelt furniture ministry that serves displaced individuals and or families and turns their house into a home. RWL provides stability, dignity, and hope through gently loved furniture and household furnishings, turning an empty space into an area that provides comfort and warmth. They work on a referral basis with Northern Kentucky Social Service Agencies, schools, and churches. Kim and Jerry, while volunteering in the community with the homeless and the women in recovery, noticed the struggle of turning a house into a home once individuals secured housing. They began collecting essential items from neighbors in the community and started out of their garage. My garage is right now packed full of stuff, so we might need to come back again. This initiative eventually led to the creation of the nonprofit in 2022, Rooms with Love, giving dignity and hope to those starting over. So please welcome Kim and Jerry Harrison.
Ian has the clicker.
Did you ever check it? Is that what this?
Yeah, that's what it is. That is.
Is, just so I don't mess up.
Yep, it's just the right arrow.
Thank you, Michelle, for that introduction. And I loved that opportunity that I believe Kevin's mother thing that, right? Walking to that home and what we pride ourselves on and what we wanted to keep at the heart of Rooms with Love is exactly that part. And how do we love on those that not only are we serving, but those in the community that are also struggling, going through change. And then we want to keep that follow-up where we can provide on numerous occasions, we know who you're blessing, and it makes it so much easier for that transition. And we couldn't do it without the community like Michelle and her family. So thank you.
Yeah, the follow-up was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I also want to thank the Rotary Club of Florence, Kentucky for this opportunity. I'm not sure how many of you maybe have heard about Rooms with Love. As Michelle said, we are a young nonprofit, but we're dedicated and we're committed. And we are going to, with the help of others, can grow this organization to be what Northern Kentucky needs. So let me start by saying that I love how you start your meetings with prayer, right? So God, give me the words, what I'm supposed to share today. And also your 4-way test. Like, I think I need to start reciting that to myself every morning. Yeah. Along with my other devotionals, right? So I'm going to share with you a little bit more about how we got started, where we are today, and invite you, if this resonates with you, where maybe you all want to take next steps, and it may involve Rooms with Love. So like Michelle said, we are a nonprofit organization that we're grounded on the belief that everyone deserves a welcoming and furnished home. A place to call their own. And again, it's by gently loved furniture. So we couldn't do it without the community. And sorry, I could talk without my notes, but then I'm afraid I may miss some of the stuff that I really need to share. And part of it, and what we don't want to lose, is the love part. That I know Amy said their business, it's a nonprofit, and I know that's what she meant. And I need those reminders that we don't always want to do the easy thing. We want to do what's right. Mm-hmm. And how can we help the community across the board, right? So currently we're powered strictly by 100% volunteers. Compassionate volunteers. Rooms with Love, even though it says rooms in our name, the majority of the cases when we step in, we're filling entire homes. So not just one room, it's their living room, it's their bedroom and the kitchen, and we're going to keep coming back until they have the essentials that they need so they can go forward. I know this was shared, but I do want to share a little bit about myself. Leon Sample is who hired me with the federal government back in 1992. I think back then he had been attending Florence Rotary, right?
Yes.
Years. And I was that young kid. I was that young kid back then, and I was like, these Florence Rotary meetings. So it's amazing that here I am now, right? I retired back in December of 2024. I became eligible. I knew my heart was to pour into Rooms with Love. So I want to introduce our Director of Operations, and he's also my husband, Jerry Harrison. He stepped away from his job because we knew, and I'll share about this, we knew this was bigger than those simple acts of kindness of how it got started. So he stepped away, and you may also see him wearing another hat, because we love the children. and the schools in Boone County. So he's a school bus driver in Boone County. So he juggles that and all of this operations with Rooms with Love. And you may occasionally find them, and I've loved it, in the classroom subbing. Because we know there's something there, and I'll share a little bit of how we connected with the family resource coordinators as well as schools. So I've always had the desire in my heart, once that opportunity that I stepped away from the job. I've been able to juggle a couple times a month, and it's always something that I wanted to do. And I knew, I don't know exactly where it's supposed to be. But there's something there. There's a story where Jerry was driving a school bus, and he developed a relationship with the girl that sat behind him. We knew she was in foster care. Months later, he knew they were friends, they talked daily. And we ended up getting a referral from that. And we wouldn't have known that. It was from an agency. We stepped into this home, and because of connection, that's what it's all about, right? Learning about them, us sharing what we do. She showed us pictures of her girls, and it was the girl that sits behind Jerry on the school bus. So that was really amazing, right? Like, how did we get started in why, right? I can share their pictures because unfortunately they're no longer with us. But Tara, the girl on the right, when we started back in 2020, we weren't a nonprofit. We had no clue where this was headed. I was volunteering with women out of recovery at Brighton Center. She became a friend of mine. When she graduated from Brighton Center, moved into sober living, she knew I had a pickup truck. And she asked me to pick up a used mattress for her in Cincinnati. And I'll be honest, at that time I was like, used mattress? I did not really want to pick up a used mattress. My heart has changed greatly. Thank you, Lord, for changing it, right? Because I'll share with you what we learned and how we've grown in that. But from there, we developed that friendship, like I said. And when she did finally get her apartment, we just started gathering furniture, because it's one thing to get housing, but it's another thing if you're living in a space with 4 walls and you have nothing in there to make it a home. So from there, and then the other gentleman is John. Back in 2020, I believe because of COVID, when everything else was shutting down, that's where really got started. We were volunteering with our local church at the time, and they were being housed in a hotel in Boone County. And from there, we went weekly. We were serving not only food with the team, but we were employing Bible studies, and we got to meet people there that had been displaced. And we met John. John became what I refer to as my big brother. And he was an amazing individual who we just fell in love with. Once the housing thing closed down, he was even offered to go stay with someone from our church. And he was like, no, I'm going back to where I was. And he finally got housed. We then were able to fill his house. And I think it was from there, we really started realizing this was much bigger than we thought, because opportunities kept coming, people kept reaching out. And I'll share how though we've grown since then at keeping order, if that makes sense, right? During that time, we also were picking up for another gentleman, Michael Murphy. He does these magazines, if you've ever seen some of these. Okay, back at this time, we were just helping the few people that we were helping. We met him and he shared with us, he goes, why don't you write an article about what you're doing? And we're like, we don't know what we're doing. We were just trying to help these people that were helping. And he goes, he kept saying to us, do what's in front of you, do what's in front of you. So we left there and I kept hearing that, do what's in front of me. And then finally it was like, he asked me to write an article and I didn't do it. I was supposed to write that article. So Jerry and I reached back out. Him and his wife, we sat down, we went to dinner, and then it was like, because you know what? We have an opening for our cover. And we want to do the article, we want to do pictures, and we want to promote what you're doing. And at that time, we were like, okay, we need a name, you're gonna become our own nonprofit. At that time, we were operating under the umbrella of the church we went to previously, so that if we did get donations, we had a way of doing it. So back in January, January 2021, this went out to over 7,000 neighbors in Union. Since then, there's been a little article in Edgewood, which has led us to partner with St. Vincent de Paul's St. Pius chapter, and we're just keep spreading. All right, we do what's in front of you. This just shows, there's so many impactful stories, but when we started, I don't know if you can see the picture on the left, that is John. He is the one that we helped, and he wanted to get back. So he started going with us and volunteering. And at that time, we were using pickup trucks. Sometimes we had 3 pickup trucks show up and with furniture and delivered. Referrals, and I'll share with this on a slide from a community partner where we can keep seniors where they are. And we can give assistance with what's necessary for furniture. We receive sort of referrals from them as well. So typically, and I'll show a picture that this shows this, we step into empty, completely empty homes. But in these cases for our seniors, we may just be adding to something because they've been vulnerable. It's part of it to meet the needs that they need. So how can we keep them? Why furniture matters. If you're comfortable, close your eyes for a moment or just imagine your own. Imagine that you have no kitchen table to gather around with your family. There's no couch or chairs in your living room, and there's no bed for you to sleep on. Now picture that all you see is a blanket on the floor and garbage bags of clothes. That's where we sit in. So furniture, we know food is important, we know housing is important. We have found many occasions, and we're committed to this, that how can we love on them by restoring hope in those empty spaces? By using the community's gently loved furniture, connecting it to and making an impact in the lives of those we serve. So restoring hope and dignity, stability, just the mental health. I was speaking to her the other day, and she said, oh, she had a bed. And she goes, but I have nowhere else to sit. But she was sharing about her mental, like, consider depressed. And again, this is examples where we step out. The child development, we don't always have, I shouldn't say this. We don't always have desks, but what's amazing is we sit there and go, okay, we need this. Next thing you know, forget what we need. That makes sense. So we've connected desks with children so that they can do well in school. And of course, having a bed to sleep. So furniture can also prevent people from going back out, either leaving their home. It can help them recover and move forward. So there's normalcy and there's dignity. So in our community, and there's going to be a slide of the impact that we've made on families and individuals, but 75% of the households we serve are. We have a number of tiny children that we have gotten off the floors. So we've seen where there's a lot of places, you know, even though the need is still there, there's not enough for housing, right? There's resources for food, but you know, there's also the need of furniture. And so once we saw that this need was greater, we just continued with this mission. So I know Michelle touched on this a little bit. When we first started, and this is a picture of the team that we were moving that mattress out of their house. We were just serving those that were in need. And we were like, okay, as we grow, we need to develop best practices. So today we are referral based. So we will partner with community social service agencies, churches, schools, and they will request. What's amazing about that is our website, our first website was created by an individual who met when he was donating. He still works with us today. He's developed our second website where now when we first did our referrals, we had copies that caseworkers would submit to us in an email as an attachment. Today, we have it all online, so our website will track this for us so that we can when we get to applying for grants, we have all that information and data that's present, you know, available to us. What started in our garage, when we first started, we realized we quickly outgrew that. We rented the storage unit. Then we rented the second storage unit. And then it was like, okay, man, this is a little crazy because we need more people to join, you know, our team. So we stepped out, leap of faith, and we rented the facility. We're behind Tractor Supply. It's offices. But we got an office of end tables, we got an office of mattresses, we have an office of tables. He's the order man. He's very gifted in that. He tries to reel me in, which can be a whole other title for him. But it's working for today. We're busting out the seams for our space. And we still have couches in our garage because that facility is just a door. Regular door. We don't have that big garage door in. And so we've still been using that garage for our couches. We do home deliveries. That's where we are today. If you've ever heard of a furniture bay, I don't know if I like that name completely because we want to make sure people are part as well. But there are furniture bays around the world. We've connected with some, learned best practices, but also what we want to pride ourselves on is finding out what we hear in Northern Kentucky now. So we can learn. Some of it is what to do and what not to do, right? So today what we do is home deliveries because there's a barrier with transportation. There's a lot of individuals we serve that they don't have the ability to come and live unless and then to put it back. So that's how we operate with that. And then fees, right? Just like any other nonprofit, money is important to continue to grow. And we've learned some of this was from our church that we attend today, that there can be empowerment when there is a minimal fee. So some of our partners, the agencies, because they know if they can afford it, not afford it, know where they're at. There's other ones that say, you know what, one of our partners is Reset Ministries out if you're familiar with that. They've signed up for this recovery program and they know that at the end of this, they can budget. And what ownership, what accountability that can do to them. So we do charge $100 fee to fill an entire home. We're not selling it to them. It's for that of getting them that pride. And it does help us. I mean, let's be real, right? And we have asked for, and we've struggled with this at the very beginning. We do ask for a $25 donation for pickups. Why we struggled is because you're already donating your entire home. But what we do is we will go in. We will take it out. We've learned, I don't think there's many organizations in the area that accept mattresses. So you're going to pay a lot of money to have that removed as well. It's not a requirement, it's just an ask. So we ask for $25 donation for pickups. Sometimes we get it. There are other times we get a check for $400 because that picture I showed of Tara and Paula. It was I'm been gifted with remembering names. She donated her entire living. And she was in tears because she knew Tara was getting it and lost her son to addiction. And knowing she was giving back, helping someone else. So other times, back to the whole fee part, it may not be something we can do, and we're still going to love on them, just like you love on everybody else. Territory, we've learned here too, right? Initially, we might have been contacted by people in Cincinnati, and we probably did it back in 2020. Today, this is the territory that we cover, not only from an aspect of picking up furniture, doing Kent and Campbell, but deliveries. Now we have partnered with a VA over in Cincinnati when they have clients that are being housed in them. So as long as they're moving into this area, furniture is available here. That's where we can deliver to. And again, we had people ask, where do we get the furniture? And I think I shared that as far as it's from the community, right? It's from loving. We hear so much on the news about the bad, but we don't hear enough about the great community that we live in and the giving hearts of those in this area, and knowing that they're helping those that are starting over. And that's why we are decided to partner with these agencies, because then they've already been vetted. You can't help everyone that just says, I need a new couch. That's not why our mission was started. And so knowing that we've met with these agencies, they know what we do, we're reliable and ready to send us referrals for those that we need to serve. So this list, it was fun to go back and put this all together, because this was from 2022 through 2024. We've touched individuals from these community partners. Some of them probably don't have as many that fall into needing our services. So we maybe only done one or two. There's some of these that are listed that we probably get weekly. It's based on referrals. We've tracked everyone that we've served. I talked to you about the referral form that's online, And what's interesting too is how we met the gentleman that did this magazine. Was on Nextdoor app. Are you all familiar with the Nextdoor? He found us. We were just trying to buy furniture and it was just my personal name out there going, hey, we need this. And so that's also how we found the gentleman that donated the mattress and now does the website. So it's just amazing how opportunities, you never know with these appointments, what's gonna come out of these meetings. So we are at a point right now with these community partners due to needing more space and funding. We're determining how to meet the needs of other community partners because we've been keep getting contacted by more. And so we want to keep that in mind as our next steps. How can we serve best for Northern Kentucky? So we need funding for the bigger warehouse to support the agencies of churches and schools. As I think I mentioned, the referral form, if you can picture online having fields of, I need a queen bed, I need 2 twin beds. So it's tailored toward those families. And one thing that I love this because it just gives us more opportunity for connection is if we show up with one delivery, our team identifies there's maybe other things that didn't get listed. We go back again. And it gives us another set of eyes from the community. It allows us that loving on them an additional visit. And we've kind of like identified that if we don't give it, we're not going to get more. So we just was like the other day, someone goes, they needed a microwave. And we're like, that's not something listed, but we happen to have one and it's meant for you. So we, do in those cases, microwave's not an essential item. It is, but we don't get enough of that, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. So that's one thing with our referral forms. We don't count pieces of that we take. We just, if we want to look with our eyes wide open, and that's how we want to train volunteers, that when they're stepping in and we see something, maybe it's not, we can't do reference for everything, but I love for our team to learn about other resources so that if we see, like, for example, we had a gentleman and we saw a skateboard by his door. I love talking and learning about people. And I'm like, do you have transportation? He's like, no, this is all I have. And so at that time, Mary Rose Mission was not collecting bikes, but we knew about this corner. So we can spread that information and share that so that if you see something, we can offer suggestions, guidance, because Mary Rose Mission now, that's why you said that there are people in Northern Kentucky that is beneficial to them because they don't have the transportation.
Catholic Charities is setting that up.
Are they don't want it? Both
down to Paris Kitchen.
Yes, we went down there and met because
we go 2 bikes already.
Yes. We had a family over in Fort Thomas, and we've been there a couple of times, which we love. And we reconnect with them. They were donating furniture, and they had bikes. This is where Jerry can't reel me in because I was like, somebody could use these bikes. This was before we knew about Pickett's Corner, and they were doing that, and we took them. They sat in the garage for a couple of years. I finally reached out to someone going, who can use these bikes? We learned about Pickett's Corner. So we can now share with that people in the community going, we don't take bikes that we have. One thing we've done, Senior Resource Center, who's listed on here, so does St. Vincent de Paul, though, and I want to say United Christian Volunteers, Charles Lambert, if you've heard of them, they collect medical equipment. And so when we step in, we have space on our truck. We've taken those and then delivered them to those partners as well, because it helps those that are experiencing the loss, whatever they've experienced, and if we're able to, we want to keep that part as well. Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay. Volunteers, so that's what's running right now, Rooms of Love. We get to do this. I have to keep reminding myself of that as well, because it's exhausting, but and that's the part we have to remind ourselves about. So currently, we've shared that it's 100% volunteers. We're still trying to brainstorm, but it's in that brainstorming that connections are made, because I was at a safety net meeting several months ago, and I shared with them, you need muscle. And at the next week, Theta Chi fraternity, those first two pictures are gentlemen from Theta Chi fraternity at AJU. Their contact person reached out to St. Vincent de Paul looking for opportunities to step in. So Karen Zengel was at that meeting. She heard what we needed. She sent them our way. So for the last months, we've had gentlemen from Theta Chi who their motto is an assisting hand, and they love it. They love it. We've learned from them. Hopefully we're pouring into them as well. But they have, watching them, in some cases, when we step in, we meet the family in need. So we're serving now, right? Taking furniture. Some of them want to know, where would you put this dresser? Where would you put this bed? Others just say, sit it aside. So we meet them where they are, because we don't know all the trauma they've experienced. We don't know what conditions they've been through. But we watching these one gentleman that came from Theta Chi, just seeing them with a handshake, looking them in the face, eye to eye, and then plugging in that microwave and plugging in those lamps. And it's when they want us to do that, it's been rewarding. And I think it's been rewarding for them as well, because I remember when the guy shows up, he sees our truck. So our truck came from First Church. It was donated. So if you're familiar with Lifeline back in the day,
Yes.
it was their truck. So it's really cool now that, because when we were given the truck, they said, take off First Church logo, and you'd have to put Rosary Club logo. So as we're feeling that, we also then saw the Lifeline logo underneath it. So we had 5 minutes. Okay, so volunteers. We have so many areas that we do need volunteers. These other pictures was a group from St. Pius. It was a basketball team. Now that we have this space, we do take boxes as well. So in those boxes, it's like a welcome home kitchen box. There's dishes and bowls and utensils. So they were putting boxes together, and then I have to thank again Amy. She's not just my cousin. She has an eye for decor. She has gone through there, I think, like a kid in a candy store, helping pick out items for families, and she loved that. And we've done a collaboration with DCCH, where when they had an apartment that when they age out of foster care, they can stay in a relationship with them. And they asked our team to come in and fill that with them. And she went with us and was decorating it and just loving that apartment. So it could, and we just found out it was somebody's moving in there. Just this week we found that out. So volunteers, we now have the space. Let's get into our impact. For the first 3 years, these are all pictures of homes that we have filled. Now they have a kitchen table. Now they have a bed. Out of the 335 individuals, 146 were children that are now sleeping in beds. I think it was 104 were women. And furniture, something I never thought we'd be doing, right? But the impact of helping them move forward, it's transforming their lives for furniture. And I know I've probably taken for granted, but I'm learning to see through a different lens. So this is the actual picture. That's spaces we normally step into, they're empty. And after our team left on the right, that's Angie's place. And we just heard she's doing well. She is thriving. She's giving back in the community. This is her house. And she still has all. Okay, we have this permission from his dad. Meet this young boy who is giving us a thumbs up because he now has a bed, he now has a dresser. He found him and his dad and his grandma were displaced. We took a team. We had at least 6 or 7 individuals that showed up with us. But the story I love about this is there was a nudge that we decided to take that Star Wars comforter as well. When we show up, and guess the only piece that he took from his old home was a Star Wars picture.
Oh,
So tell me if that's not confirmation again, that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And but we can use peoples and ideas and how things are supposed to look to best serve Northern Kentucky. Okay. Another piece that maybe can help and give the impact is the environmental. So we have saved thousands of pieces of furniture from the landfill. We have a vision down the road. We love a workshop that we can bring in community people to give back in their talent. And we have a furniture fairy today. Her name is Christine. She has loaded up several pieces. So if you see from that middle picture, we took that dresser. It was beautiful on the bottom, and the top, we knew, I didn't know. I wanted to help the person that had the dresser. So we took it. Now I know why. Christine loaded it on her truck and turned it into that piece, that picture on the end. And we just delivered it last week to Erica. She loved it. So we would like to grow into that area as far as once we have that warehouse, how can we bring community partners in and realize they can also get back and they can save these pieces and make them new.
And are you good to stay after for any questions?
Yes, yeah. Can we wrap it up real
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
right now? Okay, yes. We will stay after Jerry and I will be here. Thank you again. I'm sorry I ran over. Well, I didn't run over, but we have challenges and next steps for all of you. If you would like to get involved in this, resonates with you, what Northern Kentucky needs, and how we can all work together to love on our neighbors. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so next week, this week is a short week, so I won't give you the challenge of eating lunch with a Rotarian, but next week, we've got the Super Bowl of passing of the gavel meetings, right?
Yep.
So we got a bunch of visiting dignitaries that you've invited, some folks that I've invited, folks for Mark, and it's gonna be at the big building at the Florence Nature Park. So Team 7 is our host. Anyway, until then.